Oh, it's sadness indeed. Hello everybody, they call me Muse. Welcome back to the last tier of Nostalgaia, where we've come up against a gap. So we're going to have to figure out how to get across said gap. And that's going to involve tugging on some more levers, I feel. But which ones and in which order is the question that faces us now. So let's try this one again. There wasn't a lever back there anywhere, was there? No, I don't think so. So that one will turn this around, which allows us to then tug once again on this lever. And then, is this just a straight 180, or is it going to go just 90 degrees? Yeah, it's just 90. Okay. So let's try spinning this bad boy around. And now we can head up to this platform, which is new. We'll deal with you in a second, Lizard. I want to have a look out there. So we've got some sort of city over there, or settlement at the very least. Some shipwrecks. It all looks rather cool. That's the main thing I'm getting from this. Now, you can get out of the way because you're guarding another lever that I'd like to have a quick tug on. And that's opening up a way to a big old set of double doors, which seems promising. So now we need this lever. Oh heck! Actually, just remembered we were going to drop off and collect those loot items. Because they definitely seem worthwhile. Yeah. Ouch. Come here. And take that. Now, what have we got? Green herb and sliver of tradition. So, nothing rare. But the main thing is we did need to check. And then that would just be a drop to our demise altogether. But this way would at least allow us to drop safely. And then drop again. Now we're going to have to work our way back up. So, which way was up and how did we get there? We give this one a quick tickle, which allows us access to what we should call lever number 2. It's a bit late to start numbering them once we're up here, but hey ho, we're going to give that one a quick tug. And then when we go back down to lever number 1, we can spin around. And now we should have access, we do, to the main doors.
This keep is rank with conviction and pride. Perhaps your patheticness preserves you from such folly. But that was a compliment.
Oh, come on now. It's the most backhanded one I've ever heard, narrator. And we still haven't found any of the items that we're looking for. So, we're looking for a box there. We're looking for something to be pure, somewhere where things can be purified, and somewhere where people were taught lessons in humility. Watch out for terrifying thing. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good message. What do you want?
Oh, golly, you've caused a lot of pain. Yeah, you have. That innocent is going to be ruined by experiences thanks to you. How can I trust you again after breaking my heart? Oh, suck it up, Reservoir. It's not my heart that matters, is it? The Great One in this keep had swell intentions. She wanted to remake the world like it used to be, But reversion is still transformation. It doesn't really matter that suffering can bring about change. The problem is that change brings about suffering. She made a boo-boo. Sound familiar? If you want to heal the heart that actually matters, unburden her.
I mean, she sounds pretty cool. She tried to make a change, but yeah. Either way, screw you. Reservoir, you're the worst. No, nothing going on outside there by the look of it. We've got a door and then we've got some werewolves. And we got a beacon. Spiffing. And we got a box with possibly the previous lord of this place in there. The usurped usurper. So I guess the Great One beat this guy up. And it's a rapier. Source and Dex. My NPC was buddies with the good king. Often they would banter about implementing the adversary's strategies, making the castle sequences as fun as possible for the current hero. When Wunda Schönenberg liberated the stolen crown from my wielder, she did not restore the monarch. All perpetrators of sin had to be purified to fight the degradation of the world. My NPC's respawning became as erratic as the pixelization of Nostalgaia still worsened, but every time he came back she was there to pierce his heart. So yeah, so he was the villain, I guess, that was constantly assailing the king and providing an obstacle for heroes. And then the hero was supposed to come in, beat him up, get the crown back, and give it back to the king. But she chose to keep that power for herself, I guess. Wunda Schönenberg did. More stamina might be nice. More strength is more good. And do we have much else in here? Shortcut? Back to the earlier part of the keep? Perchance? Another elevator that's unlocked elsewhere. Okay. However, this is an elevator that's going to take us back down to one of those earlier areas, I'm sure. So this is the elevator that brings us to the introductory room. Very good. So I guess we press on and deal with those werewolves. Werewolves at least make some sort of sense in that if a vampire had taken over this castle, vampires and werewolves might work together. They have done in some versions of the lore. So what else are we looking out for around here? Somewhere to purify stuff. That might be in the boss room, because it sounds like she is a purifier. I assume that she's the blue woman that we saw down below. He was talking about people being cleansed of their wrongness. And then a lesson in humility is going to be taught somewhere as well. Oops. Lovely. So those knights aren't too bad in open combat. What? Come on now. You gonna go for another unblockable strikes, or are you just gonna disappear? Oops. Didn't get the backstab. Not a problem. We've got the Brooding Voice potion and a sliver. And another Brooding Voice potion.
So very far the charming bundle of sticks had come. The king ever closer with each pixelated step. Was it truly happening?
Maybe. Why are all those candles floating like that?
Pain that warps you, clings
Right, bit of access, not much else around there, but we've got this blue woman again.
Desire. Pain is proof of your corruption.
Purity. Okay. Let's have a quick peek around this side of the castle, just in case there's treasure. And there isn't.
Upon you. Purify
Oh, there's a knight there.
Purify your heart. Burn the degradation wrought by your desire. Pain is proof of your corruption.
So she's delivering a different message to the one down below. Is she teaching a lesson though? Is this where Tunic's tunic might be remembered?
Warps you, clings upon you. Purify your flesh. Purify your heart. Burn the degradation wrought by your desire.
Right, so that's a free heal.
Pain is
Do we trust
proof
that?
of your corruption.
Well, it's where the civilization armor is remembered, so that's cool.
Sin warps you.
So, when Wunda Schonenberg first met my
Purify
NPC,
your flesh.
she pitied him.
Purify your heart. Burn the degradation
He'd been the figurehead of
wrought by
order,
your
civility, and
desire.
tradition.
Pain is proof of your
But she soon
corruption.
decided even he was not above the ravages of personal sin. She laboured to bring back fidelity to those who had fallen, but her efforts were in vain.
Sin warps you.
So she blamed that on their
Cleanse
corruption.
upon you. Purify your flesh.
So,
Purify
she would
your
impose the
heart.
discipline the world so
Burn the
clearly lacked.
degradation
She
wrought
would save
by your
Nostalgaia from the
desire.
outside in.
Pain is proof of your
Okay,
corruption.
that's a blocked door. That's a lever. And that's a new item, Run Home. It's probably a great club of some sort.
Sin warps you. Clings upon you.
And that's back in the
Purify
rehabilitation
your
pits.
flesh. Purify your heart. Burn the
Where they forge
degradation
vile
wrought by
tools.
your desire. Pain is proof of your corruption.
So we could purify ourselves. Is that just going to mean we set ourselves on fire or something?
Sin warps you.
Yeah.
Clings upon you.
I'm not going to use that heal. I don't trust it.
Purify your heart.
But this leads up to where exactly? Because there was also a bridge of some sort to cross, I think. Okay, that leads to a bridge we can cross. So was there anything in this direction?
Sin warps
Okay, there wasn't a bridge we could cross from here.
upon you. Purify
That's
your
fine.
flesh. Purify your heart. Burn
However,
the degradation
now that we've got that
wrought by
armour,
your desire.
before I forget, I want to go back and see Sko. And whilst we're down in the pits, we may as well also try and find where we can remember that other weapon. Because it's possible that Sko will be a summonable character for the next boss fight that we might encounter. Now let's quickly stop here and tether our beacon. And grab some extra strength, because why not? Right, so. Is it going to be back at the blacksmith? Where we have to memorize our other weapon? Either way,
Perhaps when one is drawn as we are, it invites such a one to draw different meaning from the world. You found something?
yeah, here's some armor, Sko.
Oh, my friend, thank you. I will never forget this.
And just like that, she is equipped. It looks like a pretty cool armor set too.
Now, I wait. Let's hope the disciplinarian sees in this the order his mistress demands. I was never meant to be seen. Well, maybe at one point. In conception. Before creation. It doesn't matter now. Here, all that matters is stopping the cycles of pain. What meaning did you spawn with? Forgive me for saying, but prior to meeting you, I didn't know of you.
What meaning did we spawn with?
There's much of ourselves we can hide, isn't there? Thank you, humble friend. You and I play their game. For now.
Lovely. That's Sko spoken to anyway, so... I don't know what meaning we initially spawned with, but it quickly became apparent that our meaning was annoy the narrator. Oh yeah, we did get achieved, by the way, for lighting every torch in this area. And we got the achieved for 20 rebuffs. They just didn't pop up until I actually exited the game after the last few sessions. Right, shut up, dog. Now we've got enemies on all of these side routes to deal with. Oh, come on, every time. You're the worst. Just go away. But yeah, it's probably back with the blacksmith, isn't it? It's certainly not going to be in any of these side rooms because we've already remembered something in these. But it should be a fairly short route back to the blacksmith. Now that we've got all the various shortcuts that this area might have to offer. So if we drop down this way, let's see. You can drop down to there. Is the quickest way back just to keep dropping down things? It might well be. It gets us to here at least. And then down this way. Or just off here. Yep. Nice and easy. And yeah, I'm sure it's going to be over here. Oi, stop that. This would be where they've made all their instruments of torture, right? Yep.
You are cloistered because you have sinned. Sin pixelates your flesh because it ravages your hearts.
Damage up when health low. That's a pretty cool ability. I forget what ability increased damage to beasts. That's cool.
The Almighty has granted you
So, transformation of once innocent toys.
turn from your corruption.
Ah, wait, run home. Home run. It's basically a baseball bat, so this will be Ness's, I think. The sweet little hero came in wide-eyed and helpful. After rehabilitation, he had changed. The punishments and penances had emaciated his body and spirit. When the commotion of the anti-hero's assault drew all attention to the courtyard, he slipped out of his cell, retrieved his home run and yo-yo, and ran. Yeah. After the lectures of Wunderschönenberg's projections resumed, darted beneath an archway to hide. Within the gloom he found the manufactory of torture. NPCs had originally built decorative Iron Maidens and chains, but the fanatic had repurposed the space to build tools of salvation, tongue looseners, sin constrictors, moral stretchers. So he lost hope. Innocence was lost in that room. Taking up home run his yo-yo and the implements of salvation strewn about the chamber he made me. Very well. It's pretty dark all round. Now let's get back to our upper area. Right, so we've only got a couple of enemies to go, and we're back to where we were. We're still on the lookout for that lesson in humility, but other than that, we've pretty much found everything we might have been looking for in terms of remembrances. How far are we through the insight bonuses? 39, so we only need one more for increased equip load. Do we even care about these knights? I don't think we do. They're not going to follow us up this curly flight of stairs, are they?
Pain is proof of your corruption.
I didn't realise there's one in this room. Or I'd forgotten, I should say. Despite being in here a minute or two ago. It's still enough for me to forget. Gaming and talking is hard. You may have noticed. You may have seen the subtle signs in the ways that I'm just bad at doing both at the same time. But nonetheless, we soldier on. And we look for hidden items behind castles. And we find them. So,
Your pride
here's humility.
twists you. Your ego overcomes your essence. Humble yourself.
And there actually is an item on a roof. So this is where we've just come up, right? And here is a roof-based item. It's another memory. And now what? I guess we can drop down safely. Somewhere. There we go. We can drop down here again. And then we can run up that flight of stairs again. But we have found the humility lesson. So that'll be where Tunic's tunic is to be remembered. And then we'll have increased equip load. So we'll see what that does for us. In the general scheme of things. Maybe it's only a little bonus. Maybe it's a big one. We've currently got 92% equip load. Alright, what else we got around? Some sort of statue over there. No secret way in at the back here, is there? Doesn't look like it. Is there a way in higher up in this castle? Maybe we can drop off from higher? Yeah. Let's work on that assumption for now and just press on. No in through that door. So I guess we're going this way. We've got a green herb and a werewolf in a jacket by the look of it. What a dapper werewolf this one is. I mean, he's vulnerable to backstab as much as the rest of the buggers. He's given us a loaded die. Very nice. Oh, we actually got a crit. We haven't seen many of them. And another memory item. Lovely stuff. So, a couple of points where we can drop off here. But we'll deal with this werewolf first. And now what? That side. Yeah, both sides look basically the same as one another. Oh, it's death. Didn't look like death. Yep, live and learn. Or not in this case. Now, excuse me, werewolf. I'm just gonna do the old trick of just running away from all you buggers. One of the greatest days ever in gaming for me was when I discovered that you can just run past shit in Dark Souls games. I saw someone do it and I was like, wait a minute, you can just do that? You can just run straight back to the boss and avoid all the enemies? And it's something I've used many a time since. Very sophisticated of him to just be stood there with his hands behind his back glaring into the fire. Are we going to be able to reach you? No, never mind. Should have probably just moved forward a bit. But hey ho. Now, werewolf and two lads. These lads aren't terribly strong, but oh god, they're all coming at once. Werewolf's quickest of the bunch, at least. Come on. But he appears to have got stuck, so So did one of those lads just get all the way down and then blink back up to the top? I think that's what happened. Now that one's coming for us. Down he goes. Problem solved. Now let's have a look over this way. So, that's the broken bridge that could potentially have led to Humility Tower. We'll try behind this here castle once again. Now, Conviction. So we can get into this one. Let's see.
Salvation comes from the outside.
Yeah, that's where we came from. So into the Conviction Tower is our next goal.
Forgotten her traditions. Salvation comes from the outside.
It's not worked out well for that
Do
lad.
not waver.
And then this will take us up higher
It
still.
was happening.
It is
the
happening.
Elegant, illuminate, spry, minimalist silhouette scaled the monolith. The narrator did hope. The narrator believed.
Go on, narrator.
Trust in the order from
We're
which
gradually
you
getting him on
have
side.
doubt is
Now, we've dropped off here to
determined right.
drop into this
Hold
room.
faith that right
Because there
exceeds your instincts.
are items in here, I think.
Is next to the Almighty.
I definitely saw one. The narrator's probably confused now as to why we've just gone off course like this. Ah, there's the keys to the Chapel of Humility. Lovely.
Trust in the order from which you have strayed.
And now what have we got?
You do not determine right. Hold faith that right
So,
exceeds your instincts.
those guys,
Fidelity
we could either
is
release or we could
next to
purify.
the Almighty.
We've got a siphon code. And then is this the entrance to the Chapel of Humility? Yes.
That's not my name.
Trust in the order from which you have strayed. Doubt is sin. You do not determine
So,
right. Hold faith that
I feel like
right
Purify
exceeds
is just
your
going to set them all on fire.
instincts.
So let's try
Fidelity
releasing them,
is
shall we?
next to the Almighty.
Ah. Very well.
Trust in the order from which you have strayed.
Now, are we in a good place to remember Tunic's tunic?
Determine right. Hold faith
No.
that right exceeds your instincts.
Possibly we needed to be in those
Next
rooms.
to the Almighty.
We can't open these with the key that we picked up, can we? No. Maybe it should have been upstairs before I dropped down, where I picked up
Trust in
that
the order
item.
from which
I guess I
you
could have gotten here the whole
exceeds
time
your instincts.
by just sneaking up that side wall.
Fidelity is next
But that's
to
fine.
the Almighty.
Let's see. Where was taught a lesson in humility? I don't think I missed anything
Doubt
in the roof there. Oh wait, this is faith. This is a different chapel altogether. That would be the source of my current
Trust in the
confusion.
order from which you have strayed. Doubt
Now,
is sin.
which one is humility?
Right.
Whee! Is it this one?
Humble yourself. Beg for guidance from those who
There we
have not
go.
strayed. Humility reveals the depth of your
And
sin.
we've got a nice statue with what looks to be a pressure plate in front of it and a lot of feathers.
Your pride twists you. Your ego overcomes your essence.
There we go,
Humble
Tunic's tunic.
yourself.
So,
Beg
my warrior
for
had no name but
guidance
was
from
called
those
Tunic by those who
have not
feared him.
strayed. Humility reveals
hero for
the
hire.
depth of your sin.
Eradicated many of those who'd abandoned the great ritual, receiving his orders via carrier pigeon, hence these feathers, I guess. So his next hit was the Fanatic.
Your pride twists
He roosted
you.
upon the buttresses of her
Your ego
castle, waiting to get the drop on
overcomes
her.
your essence. Humble yourself.
His commitment to
Beg
carnage
for
proved no
guidance
match for
from
her commitment to
those who
saving
have
Mr.
not
Gaia.
strayed. Humility
And then he was
reveals the
rehabilitated
depth of
by the
your
disciplinarian and his civilizer, which made him squeak and squawk. To be some sort of birdman, I guess.
sin. Your pride twists you. Your ego
Let's have a
overcomes
look.
your essence.
My wearer betrayed his beneficiary's ambition. So he was working for Lounge Shorts Leonard, who longed to eradicate all of his rivals. Each of Mercutio's lieutenants had sought this in their own convictions, but the fanatic was simply the most wily. Very well.
Your pride twists you. Your ego overcomes.
So we can humble ourselves.
Humble yourself. Beg for guidance from those who have not strayed.
If we do this for long enough, is that going to open that door? Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's a very Dark Souls thing to have happen. Just hold an emote for long enough and you can crack open doors. And now, what have we got? This was that last mystery item and it is Perfect Fit, which looks like a shield. Yeah, it's a Tetris shield. Lingers an NPC city, but we are missing an ability still. Some NPCs sought to build themselves up above their peers. Curious. But yes, we did it. And now, we should probably head back to where we were. Work our way back up once again. But perhaps we should be doing that next time. So, I feel like we're getting near the end boss of this area. And I feel like next episode will be the one where we come across her. So join me then, will you, friends? Until then, thanks for watching.